Hey, this is Russell Moore, and this is One Thing You Missed. I don't know if you saw over the past couple of weeks the Pew data that came out on religious affiliation in the United States of America. I've been thinking about that a lot this week, and it's kind of appropriate. I'm here at Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary, a really good school, strong school in North Carolina. I'm here in the chapel. I preached a little bit ago, and it was packed full of bright, enthusiastic students. It's empty right now because they're all in class, but it reminds me that there are a lot of churches around North America right now that are as empty as this or nearing that, but not in a time when everyone's away, but actually when they're supposed to be gathered for worship. That's one of the real alarm signs that came out with this Pew data, is demonstrating that from 2009 to 2019, a massive drop, near collapse, in terms of people who would describe themselves and identify themselves as Christians. So in 2009, if you asked, are you a Christian in America? The answer to that was 77%. Now it's 65%. That is a huge drop-off in just 10 years. At the same time, in asking, are you somebody with no religious affiliation or nothing in particular, that went from 17% to 26%. That's also a huge uptick. It's even more concerning when you look at the demographic range, when you're looking at people who are millennials and who are Generation Z, who say they don't believe in anything in particular. Now, I think that the worry that I have when it comes to the church is that some people will not take this seriously enough, and some people will take this too seriously. Now, I'm going to tell you what I mean. What I mean is that there are some people who are not going to take this seriously enough, because what they're going to say is to say, well, we just need to do more of what we used to do. And if you just have better programs, if you just train people better to share the gospel, if you just have more exciting preaching or worship or whatever, then that's going to reverse itself. It's not. You look at what's happening with secularization, it is far deeper than that. And these problems are going to accelerate. But there are also some people, I think, that will take this too seriously and think, well, secularization is moving at a fast pace, and that means that there's a sense of apocalyptic doom heading for us, which will lead some Christians toward a kind of frantic outrage and anger, what the Bible would describe as quarrelsomeness when it comes to the outside world. And instead also a kind of a retreat into caring about the people who are already here and not even thinking about the people who are on the outside. Let me tell you why I'm really concerned about these numbers. Is because it's not just that you have people saying, I just don't think religion matters to me. Secularization does that, and that's part of what the gospel has to confront as we're carrying the gospel out. I'm concerned, though, about the numbers of people in virtually every bit of the data who say that they are rejecting the church because of the church's affiliation with a political ideology. It's where they see the church as just a cynical sort of expression of some political or cultural tribe. Or the people who are looking at scandal within the church. I'm not just talking about the old, they're hypocrites in the church. I'm talking about seeing serious scandal within the church where they're concluding the church doesn't have integrity at all. So a lot of the people that I meet who don't have a religious affiliation and who are hostile toward Christianity, it's not actually because they hate Jesus, at least not in terms of in the sense that we all hate the gospel in our natural selves, yes, in a Romans 3 sense. But it's not that they're saying, I reject the theology of the church. That's secondary. It's that they say, I don't think the church believes its own theology. I don't think the church is Christ-like enough. The danger for us is that we could become like King Hezekiah in 2 Kings chapter 20, where he tries to appeal to the Babylonians with the very same sense of power, showing them his storehouses. Churches succumb to that often in American life. We want to be a player politically, economically, in terms of marketing, in terms of our bigness. And Isaiah, as the prophet of God, says you're going to lose everything. What scares me is Hezekiah's reply. That's fine, because what does it matter as long as I have peace and security in my days? We need to have a church that is concerned not just about the people who are in the church right now, but about generations of people who aren't yet Christians and who may not even think that they need good news of any gospel from any source, who will be transformed and brought by new birth into conformity with the crucified Jesus Christ, and to have a view for the future of 2029 and 2039, not just 2019. That's going to be a church that's in touch with its own vulnerability and with the power that comes through that vulnerability, with the open proclamation of Christ and Him crucified, not anything else. This is Russell Moore, and this has been One Thing You Missed.